Welcome back and thank you for staying with us here on Channels Television. It's a continuing coverage of the Bayelsa governorship election. Of course, you know that this election actually coincided with the Kogi State supplementary election, which of course we now know the outcome. Mr. Yaya Bello is the governor-elect here in Kogi State. But here in Bayelsa State, we do not know yet who has emerged winner because from what we understand now, 5 of the 8 local governments have their results completed and returned, and the returning officer received them. So we are having 3 local government areas yet to receive, yet to return their results here at the Yenagoa Town Hall, where is the location of the collation of the governorship election here in Bayelsa State. And of course, what we are following here, we are looking forward to Obia local government, Southern Ijo, and Nembe local government. Those 3 local governments are yet to coming. I was talking to you about the experiences of my colleagues. Amaka Okafor left here, and she was talking to you about what exactly happened to her. Not only our experience that, another one of my colleagues also was on the field, and she also was smoked. She was caught in the line of the violence and the disturbances which happened earlier on in Amasoma area of Southern Ijo. The Southern Ijo, everybody seems to be talking about a rescheduled election here, the Bayelsa governorship election. Doubra Timi-Wood, a colleague of mine, joins us here to talk to us. Thank you, Doubra. Where exactly did you cover on Saturday and what happened?
Okay, I covered Sagbama local government area, and Sagbama was very peaceful. At least the words I covered, they were peaceful, except for the late arrival of materials. And you know, late arrival of materials leads to late accreditation. So materials got to Sagbama. For the particular ward I was, it got there around 9:30. But I noticed that the people were enthusiastic to vote. Even when the materials didn't come, you see them just walking around trying to say, where are the INEC officials, where are they, and all that. So when the materials arrived, by 10 o'clock, 10:30, agitation started and all that. Now we reported on the failure of the smart card readers to authenticate the fingerprints. They were doing very well when it had to do with the PVCs, but for the fingerprints, they didn't do very well. But other than that, it was peaceful, no running, nothing of that sort for Saturday.
Some of the backstory that seems to be interesting, some of the enterprise story that I'm really very interested in. You know, I was so excited about the fact that the people of Bayelsa State, especially Yenagoa yesterday, unlike elections that I've covered across the country, where you'll find on election day everybody indoors as early as 6 a.m. But as late as 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m., I saw people, food vendors who are still out on the road. I saw people partially opening their shops. Yes. People were still doing business. It's interesting. You've been in the state. You can tell us exactly the kind of mindset of the people of the state. They look so much resilient and they are strong-willed, are they?
Yes, they are. Bayelsans, Ijo people are generally very strong-willed. And you know, the atmosphere during the build-up of the election, the idea is that these security operatives are coming into town not to harass you, they are coming to protect you and all that. So that brought calm. So you know there was no tension at the beginning of the election. That's Saturday morning. People were okay. Now people would think of their stomach. If we're going out for accreditation, then we'd have to wait, then the voting. So smart people want to make something out of it.
Some quick money.
Yeah, make some quick money. So that's what happened. And it wasn't just in Yenagoa.
Ijo people always want to go to the stream to fetch their fishes first, isn't it?
Really?
That's a popular one people say around here. But let's come now to the exercise of yesterday before we go into that of today. The smart card readers not really working as expected. But then tell me about the conduct generally and the issue of security. What was it like?
Okay, yesterday, probably because the people were interested in the electoral process. You know, when everybody wants to vote, they tend to be orderly, they obey instructions and all that. So the security operatives didn't have much to do in Sagbama. Now that's why I covered for yesterday. They queued up, you see the security operatives just sitting down and watching the process taking place.
So there were no much security challenges there?
No, not that we noticed. Even when we were coming back when it was quite late, we saw security operatives leaving, and those we had a chat with said this place is good, we didn't have any encounter of violence and all that. though you know that while that was going on from other parts of the state, we're having reports of violence. But for Sagbama local government, everything went on smoothly.
Interesting. But today, it seems everything that went interesting yesterday went uninteresting today. Exactly. Tell me about your experience today. Where were you that you were caught in the line of the violence there?
I was at Amasoma. Now, you know, if there's any place that you shouldn't experience violence in Southern Ijaw local government, you now know the focus in Southern Ijaw local government should be Amasoma.
Why?
First, because it is not really riverine. It's motorable from Yanagua. It's a university community. So you meet more enlightened people, people that would have to make a choice between participating in violence and all that. So we went there with the confidence that, okay, we're going to a cool place when everything will go on smoothly and all that.
So at what point did it become uncool?
It became uncool in the evening. Morning it was cool because, you know, the elections were shifted and everybody came out. You see, people didn't go to church. People wanted to vote, but people had to sit down from that morning till 2 p.m. before the materials came. Now, you notice the materials are supposed to leave Oporoma. Oporoma is the headquarters of Southern Ijaw local government area. Reports from Oporoma said because of the security situation there, materials couldn't leave. So materials left Oporoma by 2 p.m. Now, the Southern Ijaw terrain is peculiar in the state. It's made up of creeks and there are communities that are 2-3 hours apart from each other. So now if you take material from Oporoma and say you want to take it to Kolwama, Kolwama is in the Atlantic Ocean. You need to be sure you have adequate security on the waterways from Oporoma to Kolwama. Or you want to take it to Foropa. There are communities that are in there that even the security operatives, when they are going there, they have to be sure, check if all the ammunitions are ready, everything is ready to go. You know, so that's the feel. So now at the beginning of the elections today, the process today, you know, the political parties weren't so sure. There was, do we do this? You know, but I think INEC wanted the process concluded. Let's do it, and everything goes on smoothly. So for the better part of the day, till 2 p.m., everything was cool. Materials left to Oporoma, now went to the different places. Now we got to Amasoma. What we saw at Amasoma was that Amasoma is made up of 3 wards. Ward 9, 10, and 11. As at about 5 o'clock, materials for Ward 9 alone have been sorted and placed in buses to be taken to different polling units. Now, where the things became very not so bright again was when they wanted to leave with the material. You see a group of people saying, this material shouldn't go. I think the thing is starting late. If it continues like this, we'll start voting in the night, and we're not sure how it will turn out. Other people are saying, let's continue with it. Security operatives are trying to calm nerves. Okay, we're here. Everything will go on smoothly, you know. And that's when we start hearing shouts, and from shouts, it got to tear gas. From tear gas, it got to running. From
okay, this is very interesting in the sense that at some point it was becoming, was it because the material came late that people got agitated, or what exactly would you say was the cause of the disagreement between the different parties and people in the oppositions?
The agitation started from yesterday, the fact that the elections were not concluded. So people got apprehensive, and you know, everybody would believe my candidate is going to win, my candidate is going to win, and results were not yet announced. Results were just announced. Some of the results were just announced some few minutes ago. You know, so, and Southern Ijaw is a deciding factor. It's not just one local government, it's the biggest local government in the state that has the highest number of wards. So everybody wants Southern Ijaw. You know, so the attention is on that local government. So at that point is, you're starting late, and if somebody has a vested interest in Southern Ijaw, is looking at it, materials leave Oporoma by 2 p.m. When will it get to these villages that are like 3 or 4 hours away from Oporoma? What would happen? Security concerns. Then light, you know, light is an issue. Would there be adequate electricity to make sure that nothing funny happens? You know, I think those things were what brought about the agitation.
The agitation,
yes.
And so people had disagreement.
Yes.
Obviously, different political parties now clashed.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, a fight broke out, isn't it?
A fight broke out, not necessarily like people were using their fists and all that. But you notice that you look at the faces of the ad hoc staff that were in the bus, they were confused. Because first they were considering their safety, then they were thinking of how would they get to their polling units for accreditation to even begin. This is, we're talking about 6 p.m. today. You understand now? Security operatives are assuring them that don't worry, go. Now that is only for Ward 9. If Ward 9 passes successfully, you have to talk about Ward 10 and Ward 11. As at the time we chose to leave, it was no longer safe.
The time you escaped. I mean, because it's interesting. So
yes,
when you say
we had to run, so that escape
exactly,
is the
because
best
it took you about 45 minutes up to an hour to get back into the city, and you are still not caught your breath.
Yes, you know, it didn't just happen in a flash. It was a process, and we look, okay, no, I think nothing is going to happen. I think something will happen. We're just monitoring, and the next thing we heard sound. You know, so we had to run into a shop, and the woman was trying to protect our wares, so she sent us out, and we're coming back looking at these people running, trying to get where to hide. And because we're trying to get where to hide, and because, you know, when you're fighting, but you see security operatives, they tend to make you feel you're safe.
Operatives, sorry to cut in. The security operatives, are they military or police?
They're military. Those there at that point, they're military.
I understand police had to step back for military to come in. Yes. Was that the case?
Yes, yes. Because I noticed that some of the police we saw were not really armed. They appeared more civil. But for the military officers, they knew this is not time to be civil and all that. They needed us.
They didn't want to take too easy.
Yeah, they didn't want to take it because these people easy wouldn't work for these people. It was clear easy wouldn't work.
The violence was becoming so rampant.
They needed to just calm it down.
All right.
You know, so
for you as a journalist, how did this come to you on a final note?
Safety. And as you're thinking of safety, you're thinking of, I need to report this, people need to know. So how do we marry the situation where I'm safe and I still get the exact report of what is happening?
All right, all right. Thank you so much. My colleague there, Doubra Timi-Wood, telling our experience in this very election. Is a continued coverage of the Bayelsa governorship election. Don't forget that we still continue to monitor what is happening here in Bayelsa State. It's a very crucial election, one of the largest oil-producing states in Nigeria. And of course, we know what is happening here. 8 local government areas, 5 results are in, 3 are still expected. Nembe local government, Southern Ijaw local government, and Obia local government area. But we will continue with as soon as the proceedings continue tomorrow at 10 a.m. My name is Sean Kimalo. Till tomorrow when we join you again live from Yanagua, the capital of Bayelsa State. Bye for now.